Good morning, everybody. It's Carpo. The universe is quite an amazing place. But our little world that we have here is a very small facet of it. And perhaps in other parts of the universe there are other natural laws. Perhaps there are different existences. Perhaps there are other dimensions right here within our own. But we're in this one, this reality. And I've just been thinking a lot lately about how observing nature can really give us a good viewpoint on what it means to be human. And we seem to see ourselves as separate from nature. In fact, a lot of people think that humans are put here to use nature for our benefit, as in there are a lot of teachings and practices that say that humans are here on Earth, we're put here by whatever being a person believes in, whatever entity, and that that we were given the plants upon the earth and nature in order to utilize for our benefit. And I don't believe that at all. I see nature as being integral in the way that we move forward as a species, but to separate ourselves from nature is the biggest problem, because when we look around at nature, we see so many things happening, so many different growth patterns, and so many different structures. And especially when you look at like the Phi Ratio, or the golden mean. Well, if you look at the Phi Ratio with the human body, there are so many components of our body that fit this mathematical equation. And in nature, there are so many plants that fit this natural equation. In fact, almost everything fits this ratio. So that in itself shows that we're not separate from nature, that we are nature. And that we look at the laws of the universe like basic laws, fundamental laws, like the laws of thermodynamics, which have fundamentally changed over the years, but not so much that people can notice. Some of the things that we once thought were impossible are just affected by how we perceive them. And with so many different perceptions, so many different people, it's nearly impossible to even get what we're trying to say across in words sometimes, let alone live it or experience it. But when I look at something as simple as a leaf and compare it to perfection, what I consider perfection, it's perfect. Everything in nature is perfect. There are no mistakes. And there are a lot of people out there that think that humans are a mistake, and it makes me it's sad. It's sad to think that humans are a failure, because humanity as a whole hasn't attained the lofty goals that once we desired to attain. And we're so desperately wrapped up in our history and where we came from that we've made up all kinds of stories to understand it. But there seems to be no agreement upon which of these stories is correct. And until there is an agreement, there will be conflict in the world. And I don't ever see a complete agreement coming unless there is evidence presented that we are here for a particular purpose or reason. And I think even if that evidence was presented, if we were, let's take aliens for example. Now, a lot of people talk about disclosure. I'm so off the subject of aliens and not interested anymore, because I know that it's one of those things that can't be proven. There's plenty of people that say, yes, aliens exist, but there's always going to be the guy that doesn't believe it, even when he sees it. And in that sense, we are kind of waiting. A lot of folks have this idea that they're waiting for some other species to reveal our secrets to us. Someone who's beyond us. But the truth is, these are all things that we have to spend our own lives looking for. And to not be able to attain a full 100% grasp on what reality is, I think, is the essential being of man. And it's like I've said before, it's like imagining humanity as a jewel. It's why I don't believe that anybody can know everything. It's because you can't ever know another person. And with all the people on this planet thinking different thoughts, one person's always going to have something they know that somebody else doesn't know. And that's what I mean when I'd say like that true knowledge is unknowable. It's the sense that knowledge itself can't be expressed, that knowledge itself is just a term used to describe learning things. So it's kind of one of those play on words things. But I do believe to an extent that there is a larger truth. But as each being a facet on the jewel, you can't understand the whole. So that's why we need each other. And that's why we need differing opinions and ideas so we can process. Because if everybody agreed and everybody reinforced everybody else's belief system, then there would be no ascension, no moving forward. And if there's no moving forward, then we're not evolving. And if we're not evolving, then we have no purpose. We're just existing. So that's my take on how I view nature as being very related to man. We're born, we sprout, we die, and we're reborn. And it's a very interesting world. Namaste.